Hello, and welcome to today's Wyoming Community Navigator Program webinar. We are so glad that you've joined us for today's presentation. My name is Mandy Bailey, and I'm the Education and Advising Director for the Wyoming Community Navigator Program. I'll be your facilitator today, working behind the scenes to assist as best I can with any technical difficulties, which hopefully we have none, that may arise, and also questions that you might have. You might want to monitor the chat. We'll post helpful links and information as we go along the way. And this webinar is being recorded, so a link will be sent out to participants about a day after the conclusion. The Wyoming Community Navigator Program is funded through the U.S. Small Business Administration and utilizes Wyoming Entrepreneurial Support Network to reduce barriers all small businesses face, including those owned by groups such as women, veterans, and those from rural communities and communities of color. The Wyoming Community Navigator Program uses a hub and spoke model to pursue its goals. Through their collective efforts, and the hub and spokes provide training, mentorship, access to capital, and access to other resources to help small businesses build resiliency and ultimately be the driving force behind Wyoming's economic recovery. Today's presentation of before, during, and after, leveraging Small Business Saturday to create raving repeat customers, is presented by Michelle Y. Talbert. And Michelle is a relationship marketing strategist and co-working space founder. She's featured in Forbes, The Washington Post, and other major publications. In January 2020, she opened Her Power Space, a woman-forward, men-welcoming boutique co-working space near Fort Lauderdale, Florida. In response to the pandemic's impact on the small business community, created the No Small Business Left Behind series, highlighting 200 small businesses to date. In August of 2022, Michelle celebrated the grand opening of her second location, Her Power Space 2. Michelle graduated from Cornell University and received her law degree from the University of Pennsylvania with a business certificate from Wharton. So we would like to welcome, without further ado, Michelle Talbert.
Thank you so much, Mandy. I'm excited to be here. I'm excited that people are joining, and I want to state at the outset to please feel free to unmute yourself, raise your hand to ask questions in real time. You don't have to save your questions till the end. What we can do though, and I'm sharing screen right now, what we can do is to ask, oh, you know what, Mandy, it's not letting me share sound. And I do have a video. It's letting me share screen, but not sound.
Just a second, and I will try and fix that.
Thank you. So I'm really excited to be here. I want to thank the Community Navigator Program for allowing me to come and speak with you. As we are getting started and getting set up, please let me know in the chat. One, if you are a business owner that is doing brick and mortar, and two, if you are e-commerce, and three, if you're a hybrid. So one, if you're a brick and mortar business owner, two, if you are online selling, and three, if you do a mixture of the two. My goal today, as we talk about Small Business Saturday, is to ensure that I am really honing in on your needs. So to that end, like I said, please raise your hand during, and I will answer your questions in real time. And then if you want to go into a deeper dive, our goal is to leave some time at the end so that you can come off mic and we can really talk about any questions you have or thoughts you have, or even ideas that you're already mulling over as we head into the business of selling at the end of the year and really taking advantage of Cyber Monday and all of the days. I'm seeing if I can. Okay, yeah, no, it's not. Let me see. Nope. So I'm gonna go ahead and share screen and let me know if it does actually allow me to share audio. But right now, I don't think I will be able to. Can everyone see my screen? Okay. Just a thumbs up.
Yep, we can see it.
Okay, great. Thank you. So I would love to know how you define marketing. If anyone is able to answer in the chat or wants to take yourself off of mute, I would love to hear your idea of what marketing is. Brittany, Pat, Jessica, Maureen, yes, I do call on people. I love to hear from you. We want to make this interactive so that it is as applicable and implementable as possible for you. Do any of you have any thoughts on marketing, what you're doing now for marketing? What does marketing look like to you? Yay, Pat. You're on mute, so I
Okay,
think
there we
you
go.
should.
Can you hear
There
me?
you go.
All righty. What we do for marketing in our restaurant, the servers do upsells so that they can share with customers what they might not know about and what might make their meal more enjoyable. We also have a local sales marketer that goes into the neighborhoods and shares with businesses our to-go menus to have them on hand for customers that walk into their place or them themselves.
I love that.
That's what we do. And then we have a Facebook page also that
Okay.
we share whether or not we have a wait at the moment or specials that we're running. So that's what we do right now for marketing.
I love it. I love it. And so 2 things I want to point out. One, of course, do you want fries with that, right? McDonald's has taught us all very well about the efficacy of the upsell. So I love that. That is applicable across all businesses, e-commerce, brick and mortar restaurants, and any other type. Does anyone else want to share anything about their definition of what marketing is? Brittany, I see you. Yes, please.
So we define marketing by word of mouth. If we're very brick and mortar and also have like a website base. But a lot of ours is like putting our face out there through videos on Facebook and Instagram, and we started on TikTok too because it seems to be a big pull in the universe. So
and it's Google searchable. So everybody, please know it is the only social media platform that is actually searchable for Google searches. That's a big deal. Thank you.
that is impressive.
Yeah. Definitely. So thank you. Thank you. Anyone else want to share before we move forward? All right. So what Brittany and Pat have shared are awesome strategies, but marketing is actually the idea of storytelling with intention. So they've all given us really great strategies and tactics and tools that they use to tell their story. And I love that Pat interspersed the word sales, because I think a lot of us focus on the marketing and forget about the sales, and marketing gets us leads, but it's sales that get us paid. And even nonprofits need money. So even if you are a nonprofit owner, you still want to get paid and get the money in to make the impact that you want to make. So today we are talking about the two: marketing as leading to sales. That is the goal. So my intention is 3 promises to you: to set your course of having a clear intention of your sales goal. Sorry, I am doing 2 screens, and every once in a while, the mouse decides to disappear on me. Okay. And also, I am farsighted, so I have my glasses on so I can see your names, but my screen is far away, so I have to put something close up. All right, to set your course by having a clear intention of your sales goals, to identify what makes you unique and what you have to offer, and strategies and tactics that you can implement today. Those are my 3 promises to you. Now, when it comes to your intention. I love this. I'm going to actually, the bonus, if you're able, you can pull up this worksheet, and there are a couple of other worksheets that are part of this bonus package for you. If you go to herpowermoves.com/WY bonus, you will find the first document is this form that I created years ago because I was so frustrated spending time on workshops like this and not getting value. And I had to say, well, why am I not getting value? And part of it was because my intention wasn't clear. So I would love for you to think through what your intention is, how we can be successful with our time today, and to really be an active participant in our discussion. You can take notes on this. And the most important thing is that you can put down a promise to yourself of something that you will implement within 24 hours. So if you go to herpowermoves.com/WY bonus, you can actually type on it on the screen if you're on a laptop environment while we're actually going through today's session. So what does success look like to you? This is another open question. Maureen, Jessica, Pat, Brittany, what are some ideas, success? What are you looking to get out of our time together? When we say before, during, and after, and getting repeat customers for after Small Business Saturday, what does success look like for you today? If you can walk away today and do X, what is that X thing that you're not already doing or would like to do at a scaled level? Yes, Pat.
Of course, raise customer count. That would be a big one.
Mhm.
The more customers that walk in the door, the more money we make.
Absolutely, absolutely. And are you on apps as well? I know you said you have a to-go menu. Do you also use any of the Uber and Postmates and things like that as well?
Uber does come in. We currently do not have a delivery service that we use on a regular basis per bringing in to-go orders on tablets and things like that. Because sales have been so good, I hate to say, and our staff has been kind of low. I've been hesitant in that area until sales start to slow down so that we can use it to increase sales and not overwhelm ourselves.
No, that makes absolute sense. I completely get that. Absolutely. Anyone else want to share? Thank you, Pat. What does success look like for our time together? What do you hope to take away from today?
Maureen has mentioned in better metrics than the previous year.
Cool.
And also, I think that the chat wasn't working previously. Everyone should be able to post in the chat now also.
Oh, great, great. Okay, and Maureen, please drop your business in the chat. So do we have sound or we don't have sound, right?
We don't have the sound for some reason on the video.
Okay. So.
Can anyone hear me?
Yes, I can now, Jessica.
Okay, yeah, sorry, I don't know, my phone was like frozen. I couldn't get the mute to unmute.
Oh, no.
So I'm with Whiskey Goats Outdoor Company, and we don't have like an actual store. We're in a couple stores here locally in Rock Springs and one down in Utah, but we mostly just do trade shows and stuff like that. So our local following is awesome, and we get a ton of support from local people, which is awesome. It kind of makes it harder too, because we have to keep producing different product. So we're not just selling the same thing to the same people over and over again. We have to keep their interest. But I'd really like to see more traffic on our website and get more online sales.
Okay, so you're able to ship. So you are able to ship.
Yes.
Okay, great. Okay, thank you. Yay, I'm glad you're able to join us with audio. Okay, so this video that I'm gonna press play just on the off chance you hear it. Let me know if you can.
We can
hear that?
Mm-hmm.
You were able to hear the video?
Yeah.
Oh, great. Okay, so I'm gonna let it play.
What's your name, dear?
My name is Star, and I'm a young entrepreneur, and I sell sanitizers for all teacher oil in them. I make them myself, and I especially made them for my community, right? Foundational Black Americans. And I just want to thank Mr. Tarek Dashi for giving me this opportunity. Have a great day, everyone.
Now, how old are you, dear?
I'm 8.
This little girl is 8 years old. Our little FKA princess, man. Look at that beauty, man. We appreciate you, beloved.
Yes, thank you.
So I'm going to ask a question of you all. This video on one of the platforms on IG that it was shared on had over 20,000 views and 1,500 comments. Do any of you have any feedback about this video and the sanitizer product and the little girl or anything, any feedback at all? Any thoughts? Pat?
It was absolutely incredible that this little girl is doing what she's doing. That is, I see her doing great things in the future, but it was really hard to see what the product was, because just sitting right here and seeing that video and seeing her, I would buy whatever it was she was selling just because she was her, but I don't know what it was.
Absolutely spot on. 20,000 views, over 1,500 comments, and no one knew how to find her. I screenshot. This is me screenshotting on my phone, trying to see the brand, right? From the quick pull and put in front of the camera and push back, I screenshot it. Now, I don't know, most customers are not going to take this kind of effort, right? I screenshot it and expanded it on my phone. I Googled, I spent 15 minutes, partially because I honestly wanted to know, just like Pat said, we want to buy from her. We want to find out more about her, right? So 20,000 people just on his platform, and it's been shared loads of times, right? But only 10 can find her because 20,000 people saw the video. 75 people said, what's the website? You know, not 75,000, sorry. So one person posts that, hey, I'm looking to find her. That gets 75 likes. So we've gone now from 20,000 to 75. And then some good Samaritan shares her Gmail address, and 10 people see that. So she went from an opportunity in front of 20,000 to possibly 10 reaching out to her, maybe, maybe not. It's a Gmail. She is 8. I get it, but I'm just using that because it's not really uncommon for people who are not 8 to do similar things when you have an opportunity to market yourself. She had her story in a bow, with the exception of a call to action and to say the name of her business, right? And so I don't want that to happen to any of you. And I'm glad that you're already making sales and you're a mixture of brick and mortar and e-commerce. So you are in the correct room. My name is Michelle, as Mandy introduced me. I'm a recovering lawyer. I'm sitting in one of my 2 co-working spaces right now. And our motto is we all win. I graduated from high school and went straight into the workforce, was married by 18, 19. I had my son 20, I had my daughter, and of course by 22, I was divorced single mom. I'd taken classes at night at community college for about a decade, and then my kids and I moved up to Ithaca, where I got my undergrad degree. That's my son drying my tears on my graduation day. They crossed the stage with me to get my degree. Then that is them now. My son lives out there in that part of the country with all of you in Montana, and my daughter now lives in Houston. But I went through 16 years of education to find out that, oh, I don't know that I love practicing law the way that I thought I would, or that this is actually my calling. And around 2009, I started blogging. In 2000, actually when I was in law school, sorry, in 2003, I started blogging, podcasting in 2009. And in 2011, co-authored a book using social media, Twitter specifically, to promote our book that was about online dating. magazine editor from Ebony Magazine came into my DMs on Twitter, and I was hooked. She asked, can we feature you? And I knew then and there that the power of social media was beyond anything that I could imagine. And using social media and leveraging other opportunities, I've been able to, be invited to President Obama's White House and to be featured, as well as write for a lot of amazing publications, and to have a lot of opportunities. Opening Her Power Space in 2020, January, and locking the doors in March of 2020. I don't know what 2020 looked like for you, but just know that I am in the trenches with you as an entrepreneur, both online and in person. So what is success? How do you define success in your business? We are going to be doing a lot of interactive work, worksheet work, and then we're going to, I'm going to give tools. So the name of this program is Before, During, and After. And I know some of you are on your phone. Mandy is going to send out the recording. I have 3 specific slides as we go through that are screenshot opportunities for you, because I'm from New York. I tend to talk fast. And I know sometimes I don't want you to think that you don't have the materials to go back to. So I do share resources, and you'll be able to screenshot them or look at them at another time. So if I move quickly through something, just know that you have that opportunity. So I want to know, from your perspective, who is the superhero in your business? Any thoughts? Take yourself off mute. We're intimate, so please feel free. Let's have a conversation. I think that this works best if we can talk to one another and kind of share ideas. Who would you say is the superhero in your business? In the business, your business. Go ahead, Pat. Yes.
I think actually the superheroes in my business are my servers and my cooks, because they are the ones that, well, the customer walks in knowing that they're going to buy something.
Mm-hmm.
And the cooks, well, the servers sell the product, and the cooks provide the product, and that makes it so the customer is either happy or unhappy, and provides either repeat business or no more business at all.
I love it. Yeah, that is spoken like an amazing leader. So thank you for saying that. I would say that the superhero shifts depending on what part of the business journey that we're talking to. So we're going to say that the start, the before, you're the superhero. Because your unique value proposition, the reason that you are selling the product, the reason that you opened the business. Now, remember, we're talking about marketing, we're storytelling. The reason that you open the business, who you hope to serve, what you hope to bring to the market. So whether that's, putting food in people's bellies and making them feel good about it, having a tasty experience, the entire experience of being in your restaurant, the entire experience of being on Jessica's website, and then getting the product and opening the products and using the products is all part and parcel of why you started your business, even if you're a second or third generation in the same business, right? And so I'm gonna, you can hear that, right?
And I just think that's really critical, right? And it's like, because everybody
Yeah,
has dreams, and as much as you want to be able to listen a little bit, because somebody's going to give you a gem, but nobody knows but you. You can't get advice on what you should do with your life, right? Nobody knows what you are. Like even sometimes you don't really even know what you are. You got to take your shot. And it's like, as much as you want people to agree and you want the people around you to be supporting your dreams and all, it's not going to be like that all the time. You got to do it alone, and people will help you. And when you get the ball rolling, people will jump on. But if you don't believe, nobody else is going to believe. People come along because your belief is so insane, that your belief is so strong that makes people be like, yo, this crazy. A little funny. You know, but following your dreams is a lonely, solitary, scary, dangerous pursuit. You can't wait for somebody to think you can do it. And it's like because they don't think you can do nothing they can't do.
Exactly.
Right? You know what I mean? It's like it's a lonely, scary, dangerous pursuit, and you got to be willing to risk everything to become that seed of what you believe is in there. You got to be fearless. You got to be relentless.
So I say that to say congratulations to all of you for doing what you're doing in entrepreneurship. But with regard to talking about your unique value proposition, the worksheet bonus that I mentioned to you that had the first worksheet also has this next worksheet, which is to enable you to think about your unique value proposition. And this is you as a person, right? Because I know Pat mentioned having a Facebook page. I don't know how many of you fold your personal branding into your business branding, but thinking through what makes you that superhero for your customer ultimately. And so this worksheet has potential for you to get ideas about how to tell the story, marketing your business from your perspective as the business owner. All right, so I'm going to skip the worksheet time, but just know that it's there if that's an exercise that you're open to doing. And then to say, what is my business's unique value proposition? A lot of us are already selling, but when we think about marketing, when we think about connecting, when we think about Small Business Saturday and taking advantage of opportunities to sell, especially as some of our customers are thinking about retracting in this environment economically, thinking through, why am I unique? What brings me to market? Why should you purchase from me? And so what I found is that this framework of saying my business solution is a product or service called, and you name the product, that fixes an urgent problem facing the customer, naming the customer, and that problem is. So naming the problem that you solve so that in your marketing, everything comes back to that issue for your potential customers, okay? So this is an opportunity here where I said that you can do a screenshot. So I would love to walk you through just a couple of tools and let me know if at this point, these are tools you already have in place. These are things you're thinking of. Are there other tools that you're looking for to be able to storytell? Right, so using your website, creating QR codes. I know for some of you with a brick and mortar business, Pat, as you think through doing delivery service, I know a lot of my restaurant colleagues actually, and I actually do it too as a brick and mortar business owner, send out mail, actual mail, because people are like, oh my God, I got a letter, I got something in the mail. That gives them an opportunity to have a QR code on it, to come and bring it into the store. So even if you're not yet doing delivery, that you can do some activations with specific URLs that are trackable. And Canva, the online creation tool, allows you to create a QR code and download it as a picture to put on anything that you'd like to put it on. And that way you can track how effective your campaigns are, right? So like I said, with this, we have WooCommerce and different technology, focusing on honing your own skills, obviously workshops like this, and then where will you market your products? So what is the best platform for you to use for storytelling? Does everyone have an email list? Yes, raise your hand if you do have an email list that you use for your customers, and are you sending them promos and things like that? Okay, awesome, awesome. So tell me where you are in the process, since I wasn't really sure, and so this may be too basic, and I don't want to waste your time, to be quite frank. So if this is too basic, let me know, let's go deeper. Okay, the other superhero in your business is the customer. So being curious about your customers. How many of you are collecting data? So you have your email list. Are you segmenting your list based on what the customers are purchasing? Are you doing follow-ups? Do you send newsletters? Tell me how you're using your email list to get, because part of working with the customer, the new customer, but also the repeat customer, which we're going to talk about in terms of the after, right? But getting that new customer, are you nurturing them? Talk to me about what you're doing so that maybe I can give you some ideas that will be very helpful for you to implement as well, if this is somewhat basic. Go ahead, Pat. Yes.
One of the programs that we have in place with the restaurant is when the server introduces themselves to the customer, they ask if they've ever been to Johnny J's before. And if they say no, then the server in turn tells the manager or me whether if they have never been there, and I welcome them and ask them if they're local and invite them back, and we offer to enroll them in our rewards program. And
I love that.
then we, after they earn enough points or it's their birthday, we send in the mail a coupon for them. Well, asking them to come back with a discount of $10 off of anything in the restaurant. So it pulls them back, and we spend about $1,000 a week in people just bringing those cards back.
And do you know what your return is, your ROI on the $1,000 spend?
It's roughly, right off the bat, I think it is right about, I'd have to look at my paperwork. I'm so sorry.
No, that's okay. But you're getting a return. You're tracking your return. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay,
Oh,
good.
yes.
All right, good. Does anyone else have any thoughts in terms of working with their customers and using their email lists and activations and campaigns through emails to continue to nurture? So leading into Small Business Saturday, are you telling the story, and obviously Black Friday, Cyber Monday, telling the story of your business, why you got started? Using Thanksgiving last year, I just simply sent an email on Thanksgiving Day that said thank you. And I had a 20% jump in open rate and a 10% jump in reply rates of people saying thank you for just saying thank you, right? And so thinking through ways to communicate with potential customers who are on your email list, and also obviously returning customers who are on your email list, and ensuring that you're telling them exactly that unique value proposition that you offer. So with regard to the during, there are some tools that I think are helpful in the sales process, using a CRM to follow up with leads, right? Tracking people who you communicate with so that you can follow up with them, both as potential customers, but also as potential partners for you by affiliating with other people who may share a customer with you. So they may have a product that's complementary to your own product, but they also may just share an audience. And so it would be worthwhile to connect with them. So following up using Google tools, spreadsheets, Contactually is a great CRM process, and then collecting data on your customers along the way. A lot of us have the name and the email address, but you can get really robust in getting data from your existing customers and your existing email list to then upsell, like Pat mentioned earlier, do you want fries with that? To upsell to them, but also bringing in new customers and getting to know them as you share your story. So using nurture sequences. And then when you're selling, to delight them. And I'm assuming that everybody on this call does an excellent job at providing your products and your services. Pat saying that she comes over and speaks to new folks who come to the restaurant. That's a big deal to get that kind of service and that type of attention. And we can do that whether we have an in-person business or an online business by using our email marketing tools, especially to make people feel like, okay, this is a great purchase for me to make. Okay. So when is the sale complete? the sale is not complete when you get the money and they get the product or service. The sale is complete when they are happy with the product or service. And the way to find out if they're happy is to follow up, right? And talking about word of mouth marketing, I think it was Brittany who mentioned, getting word of mouth folks to come to her door and getting customers from prior customers referring her is a big deal, because that is where the Wonder Twin power of you as a superhero and your customer as a superhero can now have this relationship where you can help them bring more customers to you by making them feel special in doing that. And so again, whether you are online or if you are a brick and mortar business, some tools for doing that are to collect data using Google reviews. Does everyone have a Google business page? Great, Brittany, I see. Anyone else on Google? Pat, are you on Google for the restaurant?
Yes, I am. You can, our Facebook is attached, or as a matter of fact, our website is attached. It can be Googleable, if that's a word.
So do you, but, okay. So I'm so glad you said that, because I want to make sure. Googling you and finding your business is not necessarily the same as you having a Google presence. So
Okay.
a Google page, right? This is a Google business profile. And this is really important for getting found, because yeah, Google scans the universe, but if you have a presence on Google, they optimize you when people are saying restaurants near me or the type of food that you serve near me. If you have a Google business profile, this is like Yelp on steroids, because people can leave you reviews and testimonials. You can share information yourself. And all of this is being optimized by Google for people to find you. They can call you, you can chat with them, all on their phone, because most people are doing this really quickly and saying, restaurant near me, or I need to find this type of product or service. And by having a Google page, they can actually chat with you in real time now. That's a new component that Google has added to your profile. So ensuring that you have, if you meet with clients in person, if you meet with customers in person, if you have a brick and mortar space, or you're affiliated with a co-working space, and again, you serve a service area, you can have a Google page of your own versus them Google just finding your website and sending people there. So with that definition, do people have Google pages? Do you have Google pages?
Yes, I actually have someone that manages my Google page for me. Yes.
Perfect. Okay, yes. Perfect. And then anyone else in terms of raising hands? I think Brittany, you said you have Google, Sarah, Jessica, Maureen. So Google is really important. So this is the Wonder Twin powers of it all. You've now delighted them in the sale. You have an email list, you follow up with them. How was that? Using surveys, video testimonials, right? So that they can tell you how they felt about your product, asking them to leave a Google review. And the good thing is, by sharing surveys in the email, you can find out ahead of time if something did go awry and they just didn't tell you about it. Because people sometimes are polite and they won't tell you about it. And they won't give you a review either, because they don't want to give you a bad review. So you can correct, make them feel special. And again, heading into the holiday season, there are loads of gift card programs and other types of software to enable people to purchase your products for other people. So think about the ideal customer, but one concentric circle away. So saying, look, you had a great experience with me. You might not be purchasing right now, but do you have someone you know who might also benefit from this product or service? Using promotional codes and incentivizing those folks to send customers your way. So Brittany mentioned word of mouth. Brittany, do you do any kinds of follow-up with people who send folks your way? Do you track or know who's actually referring customers? And also you can create sort of VIP groups. Some folks have groups on Facebook or on their own websites where you create this sense of community and people feel like they are special. And there is no business and no business type that doesn't benefit from making their customers feel special. Even if you quote unquote are B2B, a business to business seller, because I always say that you are not doing business with a business, you are doing business with a business person in that organization, a person who is responsible for decision-making. So even if you are working with enterprise clients, if you're working with business clients, you still want to make the decision maker feel special. So they might not want to be in your Facebook group, but they sure may appreciate getting some type of fruit basket or just a thank you, right? And then this bonus piece of hosting events online and in person. And Pat, your restaurant is a perfect opportunity for this, right? Because you can do a VIP night, an insider night. You give them special treats that are going to roll out on the new menu. Thinking of ways to delight existing customers so that they become repeat customers, but they also storytell for you. So now they're marketing, you're deputizing them and giving them the call to action while they're in there eating on the nibbles to say, hey, tag us on your posts and you know, share the video and capture those moments are always after a sale to get repeat customers, but also to get the word of mouth out about how special you are, how different you are. Really, it's all about setting yourself apart. That's why I start with the unique value proposition. It's setting yourself apart in a crowded market in a time when people may be saying, what decision, where do I spend my dollar? So that you stand apart so that they spend it with you. So these are all just really high level thoughts of ways that you can use your business, your email list, your existing customer base to help increase your sales. So this sort of wraps up the high level conversation. And so I'm hoping that you have questions for me, or if you have specific things that you would like covered. It looks like there are things in the chat, Mandy, so I don't know if there are questions in the chat, but I would love to go deeper with you in your businesses to see if there are strategies that you can actually take away today to implement for the upcoming weeks and rest of the year. Is anyone interested in sharing or having that kind of conversation? Yes, Pat.
You actually brought up a couple of really good ideas with promo codes and VIP nights that I can use through my Facebook, and I can use new signups as VIPs, and because they signed up. So not only do they get points every time they come, but because they signed up, they can receive a more immediate offer also. So that's something really cool that I can
Yay.
implement right away.
I love that. Oh, that's great. Awesome. I'm looking at, hi, Brittany. Yes.
I liked that you talked about the sale is complete when you follow up. That's something that we can do with any of our sales, is just make sure that they had a good time and that the experience was met for them. And I know that I appreciate getting a follow-up whenever I do something for a local business or just in business in general. So it's something that I know that I can do.
And you have an email list right now, correct?
Yes, a big one.
And so do you segment on your list so that you sort of have different silos of folks and know what interests are and things like that?
So it's not siloed out like that. Sorry.
You're fine.
But because ours is very ours is a furniture business, so it's very strictly that. So I don't know how more specific I would need to be, but like if you have some ideas, I'm happy to listen.
I do. Did you see me
Yay.
smile? This is my jam. Yay. Thank y'all for participating because I want to help you individually. I love that. Okay. So when you get their email and you know that they've purchased something, are you tracking the piece of furniture that they're purchasing or the pieces or the room that it would go in?
Yes.
So the way to segment then in that instance, an idea, and you might already be doing this, is, hey, you purchased that new love seat for the living room. The holidays are coming up. How's your dining room table looking? Are you hosting? Right? And then you can also highlight any new pieces that you have coming in without it being quote unquote a hard sell, but just giving that idea, but they feel personalized because you're saying, hey, you purchased something for your living room, but hey, we have something for the dining room too. And so you're talking directly to me. So if you can segment based on rooms and be creative, with your industry, but based on rooms, based on type of furniture. Hey, we saw you bought a bassinet 2 years ago. Are you looking for a toddler bed now? People are like, oh my gosh, they know what we're doing. They have their finger on the pulse of their customers. And yes, I would, right? I'm not saying wait 2 years to do that, but that's an idea. And in the meantime, you're still nurturing them with how are things going? And we have these programs, or we have these additional pieces of furniture, or these additional cocktail hour if they're purchasing from you in a furniture store, right? Come sit on the newest this or that, and using email to see then who comes, who clicks on a link. All of these things can be tracked on the slide that I showed you that had the different service email providers. You can track who clicks on a link and create an entire automation series to follow up with them just based on that one behavior alone and what you learn from that. So I don't know if that gets the juices flowing. My goal is to get the juices flowing, but if that gives you some ideas, Brittany, about ways to upsell, cross-sell, and use the holidays to give them ideas about how they can spruce up around the house.
That's totally great. I appreciate that. Actually, that's very innovative. So thank you.
Awesome. You're welcome. Thank you. Any other thoughts about specific goals that you have going in? Because intention, right? We're marketing and storytelling with telling the story of your business with intention. What is your intention heading into Small Business Saturday? Not just sales. All of our goals are sales, right? But are there particular types of customers that you maybe haven't cracked yet? Or are there particular types of potential markets that you want to tap into? Now is a great time to do that, and you can put together a strategy to do that in a really robust way.
Michelle, do you have any strategies for someone who potentially doesn't already have an email client list for things that they could do?
Absolutely. Thanks for asking that, Mandy. As soon as someone interacts with you, even on social media, your call to action should be giving them an opportunity to continue the conversation with you on a platform that you own, which is why I stress email marketing. So someone who does not have an email list at all, but has some type of either online presence on social media or is selling to existing customers, can begin by simply giving a benefit to that potential customer or existing customer that is in line with what they offer. So for example, I talk about marketing a lot. I have a one-sheet infographic that I use as what they would call an opt-in. It's 5 ways to market without being salesy. It's literally just 5 tips that people haven't thought of, like putting a link in your signature block of your emails so that people can get on your email list. And so giving them an opportunity to get something from you for free in exchange for your email address, their email address, right? Typically just saying, sign up for my newsletter. People are like, whatever. It could be for potential for coupons and discounting, but more often than not, if you can give someone something of value based on what you yourself sell, but something they might not have thought of, a pain point for your existing customers that you know your existing customers have, that you can create something that, like I said, like with me with the infographics, something that would be of interest to them, or they'd like to learn more about, or here's a study, or here's what we found, or we share information of this type and explain what kind of things you share. Get their email address, and then have what they call just an introduction. You can do a two-step scenario. They get to your website, they give their name and email address, they immediately get the thing that you've promised them. 2 days later, you can say, hey, 2 days ago, I sent you this. Did you have any questions? 2 days later, you can say, hey, just dropping into your mailbox, I wanted to let you know about the story of why I started this business, what this business is all about, who we help, right? Then 2 days later, you can say, hey, we're running a sale. We'd love to have you as a first-time person. So see, that's 4 emails that you're not actually sending because they're automated based on the behavior of the person starting and triggering the automation. Those are 4 ways that you can talk to them. And it can be every 2 days, it can be 7 days later, whatever that looks like, and you're just touching them. So that's a really low barrier of entry. You get the email address, you introduce who you are, give them something of value, share something. You can share stories and case studies and things that are helpful to them, learning more about who you are and what sets you apart. Again, the more you can set yourself apart and make your customer feel like they are special, and they are, the more people will buy from you because they feel like you get them. And people love to feel seen, love to feel seen. Is that helpful, Mandy? Did that answer your question?
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you.
Thank you. So, did anyone have any other questions? All right. So hopefully I kept my promises to you to, give you some ideas with regard to your sales goals and help you think about what makes you unique and market in telling your story from a place of intention of connection and sales being the ultimate goal, which we know, but really getting to know your customer, because the more you can know your customer, and I didn't ask Pat this question, but there's something called a customer lifetime value, right? I asked her what the return is on the promos that she puts out. That might be a one-time visit, but that one-time customer client, if they are delighted, they become that repeat customer. And you can begin to see over time, wow, if I spend $1 on this client, on this customer, they actually end up spending $2,000 with me, because that's the lifetime value of that one person, right? And so thinking that through with your marketing, I think is something that often gets overlooked, but is very important, that a customer that you already have is so much more value than like one in, bird in the hand, two in the bush kind of situation. So I would love to invite you all. I really believe that when, like I started with the worksheet to say, hey, why are you here? What is your intention? Take notes. What can you implement within 24 hours? I find that very few people implement what they learn because our businesses take back over. We set aside this 1 hour to come together and have a workshop, and we're like, that's a great idea. Pat's all fired up, and Brittany's like, you just like set my synapses on fire. And as soon as you end the meeting, you're like, oh my gosh, this inventory, that person called, this person's out sick. And before you know it, it's 2 weeks later. on top of that, they say that we forget like 90% of what we hear within 72 hours of hearing it. So all of that to say that I am actually hosting a 4-day free challenge called the Implement It Challenge. And you can join me for 4 days, 1 hour per day to work on something you've learned, whether it was learning it here on this workshop or something that you've learned or something that you want to implement. And I will be walking you through the strategies and tools and techniques to carve the time to get the thing done that you hope to do by implementation, and really helping to meet your goals for 2022. So you can see the link is right there. It's a bit.ly link, Implemented Wyoming, so that you can all join. Like I said, it's totally free, 4 days, 1 hour per day to walk through that thing that has been at the back of your mind that you really want to get done. And it will be in both a group environment so that you can really rely upon other folks in the group who are also business owners as well. So I invite you to join me. Would love to have you. It starts next Monday. Are there any other questions or thoughts or things that you had questions about before you came that we might not have addressed yet?
Well, it doesn't look like it.
Nope.
Thank you, Michelle, so much for being here with us. We always love having you. As I mentioned, you have such great energy and it's wonderful with all the information that you give to us as well.
Thank you so much. It was really great getting to know you. And thanks for inviting me, Maureen. Mandy. I was looking at Maureen's name.
Yeah, well, thank you. Thank you, Michelle. That concludes today's webinar. I'd like to thank all of you for participating. It really does help when we have participation from all of you. So thank you for joining in. And join us next Thursday, November 17th, for our next webinar, which is called Need Cash, Ways to Fund Your Small Business. It will also be at 11 a.m. and you can register on wyomingcommunitynavigator.org. And finally, I would like to ask everyone to complete the brief evaluation that we have at the end. It really helps us to improve our webinar services. So thank you, and everyone have a great Thursday.